Before we get into the sermon, for those of you that might be new here at Trinity, right before the message every weekend, we have what's called a Worldview segment. We base this on 1 Chronicles 12:32. From the Old Testament, it says this: the sons of Issachar understood the times in which they lived, and they knew what they should do. As followers of Christ, today we need to understand the times in which we live, that we might know what we should do. So we want you to be informed to pray, to know how to pray about what's happening in our world, so that you could be empowered to act. And if you're with us last weekend, we had this little worldview segment on how a materialistic worldview is insufficient. It can't satisfy. And the reason being is that there are 4 very important imperial questions that science alone cannot answer. Faith has to answer these all-important life questions. For example, how did our universe get here? We talked about this last weekend. Why is there something rather than nothing? That's a fair question that agnostics and atheists have to be able to answer, and science alone can't do it. Number 2, why is our universe, galaxy, solar system, and planet so optimized for life? And why does nowhere except Earth appear even remotely suited for advanced life? Only our planet. Number 3, how and why did life on Earth emerge from non-living matter at the earliest possible geologic moment? And finally, number 4, the 4th question that science alone cannot answer, that faith can answer. How and why did consciousness emerge from an unconscious, materialistic universe? Now, even science verifies that there is what's called the law of cause and effect. What's the law of cause and effects? The law of cause and effect is a universal law that specifically states that every single action in the universe produces a reaction, no matter what. It's just a law. Every single effect within our world upon our earth has a cause and effect. What's the original starting point for all of this? Now, why is this important? Because unless we understand our origin, unless we understand, and that's why they say the most important book in the Bible is the book of Genesis, because it defines our origin. Without understanding our origin, you can't answer the 2 most important questions in life. Who am I and why am I here? Science cannot answer that question concerning the meaning of life. Science alone can't do it. We need more than science. Now, as Christians, we don't oppose science. As a Christian, you don't have to check your brain at the front door before you come into church. Hallelujah, right? That science and faith are not incompatible. True science, that is. True science and faith is not incompatible. If I can quote the great theologian Nacho Libre, when his friend Esqueleto said, "I believe in science." Well, so do I. And you can be a believer in God and you can be a believer in science at the same time. I love what Rabbi Jonathan Sachs once wrote. He said, "Science takes things apart to see how they work. Religion puts things together to see what they mean." We need more than science to define the reality of our existence. We need faith.